Morning. When I first moved to Reno, I was surprised to notice a couple of palm reading, fortune-telling establishments in town, advertised pretty prominently. And it's always intrigued me, our desire to know what's coming, our desire to know the future. And then in the knowing, or anticipating the knowing, we're filled with anxiety as we await the future to arrive. And I think this is so interesting for me because it's such a human response to the unknown. We talked a little bit last week about finding our security in things, but I guess my focus was really on the fact that we tend to find our security outside of ourselves. We look out here, out there, for our security. We get the best alarm system. We get a big dog. We take unbelievable precautions. We seek security outside of ourselves. And what causes us so much anxiety about this is that we can't control it. Even if I have a great alarm system, there's no guarantee someone's still not going to try to breach the doors or breach the security. If I get a big dog, there's still no guarantee that someone won't throw a stake over the fence or the dog won't get sick or injured in its energy trying to protect me. We're finding our security outside of ourselves, and we still don't feel safe. The key to this, and I have a friend who calls this interior place that exists within us, her inner chapel. I love that image. Whether you call it an inner chapel, or a temple, or a sacred space, this is where we are invited to place our security. When I think of this, right, because I'm so visual, I think of this inner place that's lit from the inside, maybe candles. And I'm hoping that the path to this inner space within me is well worn. I don't have to bushwhack the weeds to get to the threshold. And there, at the threshold, I leave my shoes. I leave the things that I clop through life with. I leave those normal, regular things at the threshold. And then I cross over into that interior space. It's small. It's intimate. There's room for two. It's not claustrophobic. There's room for two. And there, in that interior space, I meet the God who first dreamt of me centuries ago, waiting for a time to place my soul, my spirit, my essence, your soul, your spirit, your essence, into this human form that you and I now inhabit. This God, this spirit, this divine presence, who is loving and affectionate and warm and protective, waits for us in this space. This same God walks with us every single day of our lives, but waits for us in this space. And what happens in this space is we start to communicate on a level that allows our security now to exist within us, not without, not on the outside, but within. So that no matter where we find ourselves, in what kind of storm, in what kind of health crisis of a pandemic, in whatever economic turmoil, if we are stripped of everything we own and everything we have, if even those we love are no longer part of our lives, and there's great suffering in all of these things, that sanctuary, that inner chapel, that safe space where you are deeply loved, unconditionally welcomed, is sacred. It's not touched by any of those things that happen to us on the outside. Our security, and this takes a lifetime to learn, is within. It's on the inside. It's in that sacred place where God waits for us, where God embraces us, where the divine speaks to our heart what we most need to hear. The thing about the divine is that God won't force God's self on us. Hey, got the answers for you. Come on in. Hurry, hurry, push me, push me. So respectful of our will and our freedom. Finding our way to that inner chapel is our work, but once we arrive, it's all the work of God. That sacred place, that sacred space, is where we find security. In the harshest storms, in the most challenging, fearful realities that swirl around us in our life, we carry security within us. And the stronger we develop that bond, the more often we walk that path to that inner space and just sit there and waiting. There aren't many words that need to be exchanged there in that deepest part of ourselves. The stronger that security we will feel in the struggles around us during life. That's what God offers. That sense of deep security and safety that only comes from knowing our security is within.